Hey, what's going on, Snaps? We got a bit of an interesting setup today, a holiday setup for your boys here. It is July 3rd as we record today's episode. Aaron, where are you right now in the world?
You know where I'm at. I'm at the lake, baby, living the dream, working on my tan, trying to be center of attention T-Bob with my skin
hmm
color when we go back on Wednesday
hmm
for our normal shows.
Now, hold on now. Thank you, Aaron, for meaning for taking that as me asking personally. I meant more for like the audience sake. For those that don't know, because also I'm going to say where I'm at. So, like, as a play to set this all up, like, what part of the world are you at? Like, where are you currently?
I am currently at Lake Oconee,
Okay,
right
hell
here on
yeah.
the lake, my parents' house. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Little boat, little
Uh,
golf, having some fun.
so that's
Happy
a
4th of July
classic
weekend,
Georgia
everyone.
lake.
Yes.
Happy 4th of July weekend. I'm over here in Manning, Louisiana. It's where my mom's from, 318. This is a small town up in North Louisiana, but it's on a big lake. Toledo Bend used to be the best bass fishing lake in the entire country for a few years running. I think it came in like sixth this last year. But
Is your
crazy
mom there?
story, dude. I don't like how you asked that, but yes, she is. She is now the owner of this home. Old man built it back in like 92. And then he eventually had to sell it, and she scooped in and bought it to keep it in the fam. So I'm
Nice.
currently doing the show standing up in an unfinished room because there's like a giant like to redo all this stuff. But that's how much it means to us to bring you the daily college football content you all crave so much. So it's gonna be a chill show, a bit of a shorter show today. We'll have one coming out pre-recorded tomorrow on 4th of July as well. So if you're listening on podcast, the audio sounds a little different. That's why. And if you're watching on YouTube and the setup looks completely different, well, that is why as well. Aaron, I don't know about you, but I seem to have made a
Mm.
bit of an enemy of Texas football fans. I don't. I legitimately cannot understand what their problem is. Like I feel it's so weird because I feel a bit, I don't want to say I feel like Jesus, but I feel a bit like a martyr here, right? Where I am trying to show them the
Oh,
truth. I am
yeah.
trying to show them the truth, a truth that may be painful, but if they can accept that truth, one that can lead them to fixing the problem. And I'm just getting stones
I
cast
know.
at me just
Mm.
everywhere.
I,
Constantly, they're yelling at me. First, they
yeah.
were mad because I said, "Look, I don't think Sark's the guy." And all I said, the only bar is to win 10 games with a bowl game. That's it. They're all mad about that. Then the other day we're talking, and I laid out the truth that Texas A&M has been better than Texas in this modern era. And again, I'm getting yelled at. Everybody's like, they lost to App State. They lost to App State. I get it. I get it. I'm kind of arguing between like a, I don't know, what's the old South Park episode? Like a turd sandwich and a shit sandwich. Like I get it. Like neither have been great, but objectively, Texas
Yep.
A&M has been better at football. Texas A&M, the Aggies right now run the state of Texas, Aaron.
To somewhat defend you here, you are not taking straight shots at Texas. You're just laying out the facts. What you believe,
Facts.
obviously, your big beef is one with Sark. Like I would love for you and Sark
Mhm.
to sit in a room for you just to get to know the man a little bit more and see how you feel. But you did
I
lay out some interesting facts with where USC is right now, where Washington is at right now, how those coaches have had success, how Sark never had success at those spots, how now he's at Texas and really hasn't, reached the point where we think that they are back, quote unquote, back. So like you laid out a nice foundation. The A&M point, also a very nice foundation. It's true. Go by the records over the past decade plus. A&M has been the more consistent team, and they've been in a harder conference, which is the SEC, and they've been in the SEC West, which is by far the hardest conference in America. So I get all that. I don't think Texas fans should be mad at you at all. You're not ripping the program. You're not
yeah.
poking that many holes at it. You're just laying out the facts. You guys are underachieving. You know it. I know it. The country knows it. Texas has been one of the most underachieving teams over the past decade. Resources, fans, money, players, everything you could possibly want, and in a weaker conference. The Big 12 has not been dominant anywhere near the Big Ten, anywhere near the SEC. So there really is no excuse. I still think going
Yeah.
forward, though,
Oh, here we go.
I would still put money on
Hmm.
Texas over A&M as a more consistent brand over the next 10 to 20 years. Like I see Texas in 3 or 4 years being a contender in the SEC, where A&M, I think they'll be a playoff team one every 5 years. Where I think
Hey, they
Texas,
would
once they
love
kind of
that.
get
Both
going,
Texas.
what's that?
Wait, hold on.
No.
Both Texas
Texas will
and
not love that.
Texas State.
Texas will not
What?
love that. Texas would not love that. Texas right now, the expanded playoff, they're a brand who, if you ask the fans, are saying, just like Tennessee fans, same thing with Tennessee fans right now, we expect to be in a 12-team playoff every single year. Every year. I don't think A&M fans feel like that. Texas fans feel like that. Tennessee fans feel like that. Problem is, only so many SEC teams are going to get in. And you got Georgia, you got Alabama, and you have LSU. I think those are the three that I feel the best about. The next two in line, starting next year, would probably be Texas and then Tennessee, not A&M,
Not Oklahoma. I know you're
not
a big
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma boy.
I'm
Why?
kind of like
So, so
I'm kind of like our boss. I'm like our boss here. I thought Colin made a good point a couple weeks ago. The next team that could be Nebraska, that kind of falls off the face of the earth, could be Nebraska.
hey, Aaron, I can see it through the screen here. You got a little brown on your nose. Just come here and lean up,
I
and
love you, Colin.
I'll just
Happy fourth, Colin. Happy
hey,
fourth.
boss. No, boss.
Wow.
Happy Fourth. I said it first before the show started, but we weren't live, so he couldn't hear yet. Happy Fourth for sure. Um, I look. We've touched. Oh man, that's an interesting question about Oklahoma maybe becoming the next Nebraska. Like I think I'll say this. I think the one thing that would maybe stop them from that is I do think that Oklahoma fans hold themselves to a higher standard. Right? Remember we talked about A&M the other day, and we talked about why has
Mm-hmm.
A&M failed to find the success that maybe they should. And one of the kind of core points in the Athletics article was this idea that maybe it's because the fans are a bit accepting of mediocrity. Right, Oklahoma fans are not. Now, I think now you may say, but T-Bob, what are you talking about? Because they're all like on Venable. What they're doing right now is self-defense. Okay, they have to. Like, yes, Oklahoma fans are doing mental gymnastics for Brent Venables, but they're doing it because they must. They have no other choice. But if Venables has 3 bad years in a row, Oklahoma would run him. Like, I have no doubt about that. They would
No,
not stick with him.
100%.
I don't know that I can say the same about A&M or Texas, because we've seen A&M stick with guys for too long, and we've seen Texas stick with guys for too long. That's why this is the most important year for Sark. This third year, he has to prove to maybe be that guy, or the Texas leadership needs to really have a tough conversation with themselves about it. So I guess that's
Let me
one
ask you
reason why I
this. Let
don't
me
see.
ask you this question. Let me
Yeah.
ask you this question about Texas and Texas A&M real quick. Both jobs are open. Say somehow A&M shits the bed again this year. They're 6-6. The fans say, I don't give a damn. We got to pay $80 million. We need him out of here. He's got to go. Jimbo's got to go. Texas, 8-5. 8-5 with a bowl game. Once again, unacceptable. I think you and I both feel like 10 wins should be easy for that program with what they have.
With a bowl
Should
game.
be
We'll
easy.
even give them
With
a
a
bowl
bowl
game.
game.
9-3 regular season, 10 wins.
But
Yeah.
8-5. Texas fans say, you know what? We're moving the SEC. That we can't have that mediocrity because we're gonna get our ass kicked by SEC teams next year. Sark's gone too. Which program would you rather take over? Which program today would you rather take over, Texas or Texas A&M?
So this is where Texas fans can't get mad at me, because I would take Texas.
Thank
Like,
you.
I agree that they have probably the better program potential, because also we've seen in the past, like
Yeah.
A&M
Yeah.
has been the better team the past 13 years of football. Like the decline from Texas going 13-1 and losing in a natty in Alabama to 2009. I mean, trust me, I too suffered in 2011, losing to Natty Alabama. I've seen what that could do to a team and do to a program. I saw the decline in LSU after that, but
Yep.
the decline in Texas has been drastic and really
Yep.
shocking when you just like look at it on paper. But previous to that, I mean, that's one of the most historically successful football team programs of all
Yep.
time.
It's a blue blood. It's a blue blood.
So yeah, so no, I would take the Texas job. I think there's a higher ceiling there. I think both have these just
Yep.
weird political, too many cooks in the kitchen, leadership problems. But like we talked about the other day, ultimately it's all about finding the right guy. And that's like a million times easier said than done. Finding that guy that can overcome all that kind of organizational momentum that's been working against you for so long. But no, to your point, Aaron, I would take the Texas job. I would take the Texas job over the Oklahoma job as well.
Oh, yeah.
If both were open.
There's not many jobs in America that I would take before Texas.
Yeah, that's true.
Texas is a top 5 job. Texas it's a top 5 job, top 5 paying job, top 5 resources job, and fan base, everything. That's why when I post what I posted today, I get the pain, the struggle. Texas will always run that state. Like to me, and I struggle with someone brought this up the other day. They're like, well, Auburn's won national championships. Auburn's made it to national championships, and they're obviously in the same state as Alabama. I mean, if you want to make that comparison, maybe because I'm an SEC guy and I grew up more watching SEC, like I get Auburn. A&M to me is just never in my mind ever clicked as a big brand that ever is a national championship brand. Like they just don't have it.
To your point, yeah, it would take some extreme consistent winning for the brand of A&M to pass up Texas. And Texas is very good in all other sports. Now I know mainly.
But where's A&M compared to Auburn though? Where's A&M to Auburn? Because that means same thing. Little brother in the state. I think that's the closest
that's what
comparison.
I'm saying. No, your analogy is correct because Auburn's had more success than A&M has, and still they do not run Alabama. So I feel you. You are correct about who should run the state from a brand perspective. But again, and this is where you're a fan, if you're an A&M fan, you got Texas coming in the SEC now. You know they're going to start. Y'all are going to start playing every single year. Like if you finally want to change that narrative, now's the time. And you've got a nice foundation to build upon. For the last 13 years, you have been better. Texas' record over the last 13 years is 91-72. A&M is 106-58. So you're talking about a full season worth of wins, couple seasons worth of losses better. A&M has been. And 13 years is not a small sample size. It spans multiple coaches for both schools. Texas has made 9 bowl games in the 13 years. A&M's made 11 in the 13. Texas is 6-3 in those bowl games. A&M 7-4. Texas has 1 New Year's 6 win. A&M has 2 New Year's 6 wins. So I mean, it's just again object. And look, Texas never had a top 5 finish there. A&M's had at least 1 top 5 finish off the top of my head. A&M had a Heisman winner in that time. A&M had what was they just thinking about? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Y'all get it. The point stands. Over the last 13 years, they have been the better football program. The only thing holding A&M back, it's almost like if they could go back in time and somehow in 2020 win a natty or something. If they had that national championship, Aaron, in that time, you could the brand argument may be changing in terms of who runs the state. I guess if I was an A&M fan,
I think to me, you're right now. You're trying to make an argument for A&M, and there's, in my opinion, way more things that have to go right for A&M to get there. I just think for Texas, you have 2 consecutive seasons of winning 10 games, and it's off to the races. It's off the races. I mean, they're to me, it's like what USC is doing right now with Lincoln Riley. And I know we're getting into the coaching comparison right now, and maybe eventually it is just a coaching change up. That's what Texas needs. But you see the energy that USC has right now, and you and I both kind of have USC to be a national contending football team this year as they get ready to move to the Big Ten. All you need is a couple consecutive years of success for those kind of brands. A&M needs to win this series. When it starts up next year, 3 out of the next 5, 4 of the next 5 to switch their narrative. Texas can switch it on in 2 years, and they're back, boys. That's it.
That's true.
Two good years of 10 wins, and Texas is now a team that we're talking about as a top 10 team preseason every single year.
It's tough though, dude, because it felt like they were there.
They were close.
Won the Sugar Bowl. They beat Georgia. They were 10-4, and then the next year they go toe to toe with that 2019 LSU team, which they played them better than anybody else. Like honestly, Texas should have won that game. They made some really critical errors to end up losing that game, and then it just all fell apart. So I don't know. There's just
Mhm.
something in that Texas water. But so I guess in summary,
I don't think they're far
Texas,
off. Texas
I mean,
is not
Texas.
far off. They're not far off. They were not far off last year. They were not far off last year.
How long can you be not far off, though? I don't know, dude. I mean, it's not like they've ever been bad at recruiting. Now, Sark may be doing it.
No.
Sark's doing a very good job recruiting. So
Yep.
don't get me wrong. Oh, that's another thing Texas had, though. They never had #1 class in the country. A&M put together
Yeah.
the greatest class of all time. So I just think that there's some
which has since evaporated through the transfer portal.
some of
I
it.
mean,
Some of it.
it was a money grab. The whole class was a money grab. Those kids came in there, got their bag, they got the hell out.
No, there's still a
Yes.
lot of returning. There's a Nia Smith, there's Wegner. There's still returning guys. They're returning the whole offensive line. It's like we talked about the other day. Okay, here's the question then to wrap this thing up. Because it sounds like we're in agreement that objectively you can't really argue A&M football's been better for 13 years, but the brand of Texas probably has the higher potential.
Yep.
Who is better next year?
I think Texas will be better next year because they're in an easier conference.
Yeah.
You can't compare. I mean, that's unfair.
Yeah, that's true.
You're talking about the SEC, which is the best conference in America, and you got LSU, who's going to be elite. You got Alabama, who's obviously going to be elite. Like A&M's got to play the big boys. Texas, was there another team that had over 50% on the Blue Blood rankings for recruits in the Big 12? Maybe Oklahoma.
No, Oklahoma was the only other one. It's only Texas and Oklahoma. Nobody else broke the Big 12.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you're facing Oklahoma team that is in somewhat shambles right now. So it's not like that should even be an even playing field. You beat the shit out of them last year. You should probably beat them up again this year. So that it's you can't compare. It's apples to oranges. Like maybe talent wise, the rosters are similar, but you got one playing in a semi-professional league in the SEC, and you got one playing in the JV league below that. It's hard to compare the two.
Which again, that's what makes all the numbers I just read even crazier.
Yep.
Is that A&M has been that much more successful in a way better conference. But whatever. Look, there it is. You know what? Look, it's the country's birthday. Texas likes to think they're bigger than America. Congratulations. We just spent an entire episode talking about Texas football. I'm not mentioning Texas football for at least 2 weeks after this.
Yeah,
Say for a headline story. No.
Okay.
I just, again, like I said, I am a mark. I'm just trying to show these people the way, the truth, and the light. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What you choose to do with my teachings once I give them to you, that's up to you, Texas fans. Okay. But I'm not the bad guy here. Okay.
Nope.
Look in the fucking mirror. That's the guy who you're actually mad at. Look in the mirror. Speaking of which, Aaron, what y'all got going on late today, dude? What y'all doing?
Oh, baby, we're going on the boat. We actually may take Little Man Tubing for the first time, so we'll see how that goes. A little nervous for it, but we'll have some fun. Yourself? Yourself?
Yeah. We little tubing last year. So check this out. Toledo Bend, like I said, we are in rural Louisiana here, but it's kind of starting to, some stuff starting to pop up here recently, and they just came out with a family adventure park. Little like water park splash pad type deals. So rather take kids over there. Unfortunately, Aaron, do you know what fapping means? FAP, fapping. You ever heard that?
I've not heard of fapping. Nope, first.
It's an internet term for masturbation. Essentially has been for years and years, like fap, like the noise, right? And it's FAP. And the Toledo Bend Family Adventure Park, the website is tbfap.com. So if you want to go check it out, www.tbfap.com. Type it in correctly, or you are going to end up in corners of the internet that you did not mean to.
Yeah, you better be in private mode before you type that thing out, just in case.
Oh, look at that! That's how I know you're watching on Safari, right? Or Safari, yeah. Safari's private, and I think maybe Chrome's incognito. I wouldn't know, but if you did know, it probably would be what it was. Who knows? Hell yeah, man. Well, enjoy the fam. I'm going to as well. And again, we'll be back tomorrow with a brand new special edition July 4th episode of Snaps, talking about the country's most explosive offenses. Get it? Okay, coming up tomorrow on Snaps. So see you then. Huge thank you to Ryan Brumley, Paul Farrington, Pat Gunther, Adam Gracia, Danny Carnes, Snaps, the boss man, Colin Coward. Happy 4th of July. And the biggest of all thank yous to the listeners. We love you so much. If you like the show, share with your friends. Apple, Spotify, you already know the deal. YouTube.com/@volumesnaps. And we'll see you on the 4th.